My name is Stephen. I'm a British-Chinese actor. I'm out, I'm proud. I did lots of work with Stonewall, and I have relatives in Singapore, and that's why I'm here. I'm in Singapore meeting some theatre companies here, a Canadian theatre company and a Singaporean one called Wild Rice. And I have been coming to Singapore since I was a kid because I have family here.
So, tell us a little bit more about the British gay identity from where you're from your perspective.
Well, for me, the London gay scene is very eclectic. It's really varied. You can get every kind of scene. You can have the alternative kind of rock music scene. You can have your house scene. You can have your very archetypal gay muscle vest kind of scene as well. And then you can have you've got your younger crowd, and you've got your older crowd, and you've got everything in London basically. So I wouldn't say there's. If you want me to talk about British gay identity, that's a really difficult question to answer, because everyone has their own identity, don't they? It depends on how you decide to identify yourself, I guess. Yeah. The gay life here in Singapore. What to say about that? Well, I've been coming to Singapore ever since I was a kid because I have relatives here, and it's only as I got older and I started to go to clubs and bars here that I started to find this place fascinating and more interesting, considering socially gay rights here and things like that. To see such a vibrant gay scene, you know, that area where all the clubs are opposite each other, and the bars, and meeting the people, and it's very positive. It's lots of fun. Of course, it's not without its problems, but from what I've observed and what I've seen and experienced, it's a really cool place to be, and really nice, and the guys are hot.
Great. We've gotten this law from the British, the 377A, and it's funny that I'm interviewing a British where we got those colonial laws from. So what are your thoughts on
377A, that old British colonial law which still exists in Singapore, which, as I understand it, is a law against homosexuality or sodomy in this country, or it's a constitution. It's still part of the constitution. Well, that should just be scrapped. It doesn't belong to Singapore. It's a British law. It should have been gotten rid of ages ago. Seeing as Singapore isn't a British colony anymore, it makes sense that that law should be taken away. Plus, you look at Singapore now. It's meeting the young people here and knowing about its history and things like that. I see Singapore as quite a cool, progressive, cosmopolitan place.
What was your coming out story? What was that like? Was that a struggle? Was it some lessons learned?
I came out on my 17th birthday to my mother, and yeah, she will rewrite history, but if I ask her about it now, she'll have a completely different imagining of what was said and things like that. My parents were good, I think. They're as good as they could have been. They don't know anything about about being gay, so they dealt with it the best way they could. There was no adverse reaction. They didn't chuck me out or anything like that. The problem I think with my mother is she wants grandchildren. She thinks that she's not going to have any, but I have every intention of having children, and gay people want children. They want to be parents. There's this myth going around that you can't. We can. I will probably have kids. I can in my country. Adopt. I can get married. These are the kind of equal opportunities and things that should exist all over the world. Right?
How did you muster enough courage to sort of tell them that you were gay, and how did you, and what was that like? What was that conversation piece between you and your parents?
Well, basically it was between me and my mother, and it was I told her I'm gay, and she said, I don't think you are until you tried it with a girl. And so I said to my mum, well, did you have to try it with a girl to know that you're not a lesbian? And she didn't know how to answer that, because she wasn't thinking, she was only thinking two-dimensionally about these things. She was thinking very heteronormatively, as it is. As, I don't know if you know if that's even a word, but that's how I'm explaining it. But you know, she had to get over it. She has no choice, basically, and she's fine. My family are fine with it now. My immediate family are fine with it.
And you know, for someone who's like perhaps, you know, sort of realizing now, you know, as we are watching this, who is he's not sure whether he's gay or he's straight, and he's, you know, having some issues reconciling it with his religion and his society and his friends and his family.
Okay.
Is there like a liner or two?
What I'd say is that it does not matter what anyone else thinks about you. All that matters is what you think about yourself. If you love yourself, that's all that matters. It's hard. It's easy for me to say. You know, you know, it's easy for me to just tell a kid, there's no problem. Just, you know. But the truth is, you know, you have to love yourself and realise that people won't understand you, and be at peace with the fact that people are not going to understand you. People of other religions, other backgrounds, people who are old-fashioned, who are non-progressive, not open-minded. You're not going to be able to change them. They're not going to be able to change you. So just make peace with that. Concentrate on your own happiness, I'd say. To any kids that are out there, you know, it won't get better. You know what they say in America? It gets better. I say no, it gets better right now, not in the future. Make yourself be happy in the moment. That's it. I don't know. That's the advice I'd give.
Every year Singapore has this event called the Pink Dot.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
What's your understanding of it, and how do you think that that's the Asian way of a Mardi Gras, to doing it not loud and proud on the streets, but an Asian definition of a parade?
Well, Pink Dot, as I understand it, is an Asian version of a gay pride gathering, right? And say in the West, when we have a march and a protest, that maybe that method doesn't work so well in other countries where socially or you've got your cultural ways of doing things. So if Pink Dot is a Singaporean version and they do it within the confines of a Singaporean mindset, then I think it's only a good thing. I don't think you have a gay scene or in another country always has to emulate the Western model. People find their own ways of doing things, what works best for them. And so I think Pink Dots sounds like a wicked, brilliant idea. You know, sometimes protests or marches, they become news in the bad way, for the spectacle of it, or for it makes the news. You know, like in Taiwan, I think they had a gay pride parade there, and instead of reporting about the gay rights issue, they reported about people being in drag and barely wearing any clothes, because they know that will be titillating to the public. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with being in drag or just going around in a thong in the street, but I can understand where the kind of spectacle of it works for the news agencies and stuff like that. I hope Pink Dot advances.
Okay, so like, what do you think are the cultural not so goods of the gay scenes? Yeah.
Well, not just here, but gay scenes everywhere. I think that, well, from my observations of the gay scene in Asia, because I used to live in Beijing for a year, and I've been to loads of countries around the world and seen the gay scenes there, and I find that as humans we're pack animals, we're herd animals, aren't we? So we follow the crowd, and that's in our nature, because I think anthropologically it serves us well to be part of a group, which can also have its downfalls in creating a monoculture where everyone thinks that they have to be a certain way and act and dress in a certain aesthetic. I think that's the downfall. I really believe in individuality and being your own person, and I believe in diversity. The gay scene can be really judgmental. It can be purely aesthetic based, superficial and shallow. and I think that is a bad thing. I think also racial stereotypes exist, and that needs to change as well, and there needs to be people need to be proud of who they are and what race they are, and be personally I'm a lover, so I love all types of people. That's my thing, it's variety, and I wish people would be more like that, because you look on Grindr, you look on Jacked, and people say no this, no that, don't do this, and there's all these limits, and everyone's trying to kind of select down and process into this kind of mould the other person into the perfect aesthetic of what they're looking for, and which doesn't exist. And when you finally obtain that, you'll probably realise that person's a complete bimbo.